What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some Ultravox, and also, many people will know, some sad news. Apparently, the bassist for the group, Chris Chross, as I think he was professionally known, I think it's like Christopher, is it Thomas Allen? I had this looked up on Discogs earlier. Yes, I still have the window open, and it is indeed Thomas Allen. But yeah, apparently he died last week. A couple of folks, friends of the channel, reached out to let me know. Shout out to both Han Solo and Izzy. And yeah, obviously this is a good time to come back and do a reaction to their music, but not only that, I just reacted to the last of 3 bonus tunes in the expanded folder for the previous album, Rage in Eden, so we start a fresh album. So even as a part of the band's legacy comes to an end, so to speak, we continue with a new chapter in this journey through their catalog. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Quartet, which I actually wondered when I opened it if it would be like a 4-track release, or if, you know, somehow at this stage they had 4 members, which I don't know, like, you know, going through different groups and knowing in some cases the history of the personnel, like Depeche Mode, you know, I knew going into that deep dive at least a lot about the history of the personnel changes. But yeah, at this point I don't know if they're a 4-piece, 5-piece, 3-piece. I know obviously, you know, the singer switch has already become a notable aspect of, you know, their legacy by this point, and obviously the album Vienna was a massive hit from what I understand. So either way, yeah, the first tune on Quartet 1983 is Reap the Wild Wind. It's dramatic, it sounds poetic, it has a literary quality to it. It sounds like, you know, something written by Samuel Clemens, say, or for perhaps you folks across the pond, maybe something like Percy Shelley. Nevertheless, I do wonder, you know, reaping something is to gather the fruits or the products of some process, and that can be more positive or negative. You know, reaping what you sow is often invoked when someone's negative consequences are coming home to roost. Let's just use all the idioms and metaphors. But yeah, I wonder who will reap the wild wind, which doesn't necessarily sound negative, but it sounds uncontrollable, it sounds capricious, mercurial, and something which cannot be controlled. Either way, let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Ultravox. The tune is Reap the Wild Wind, and it's the first track on their 1984 album, 83 album, Quartet. It's the number 4, right? I like that. I thought that percussive rhythm would go on for a lot longer. And I'm noticing the bass right away. It's actually like organ, man. They're like string slash organ synths. It's like both. Take all you want and leave all the rest to die. A footprint haunts an empty floor. A fading coat that I once wore. Desolation where I once lived. that melodic run. What's going to happen at the end of this? Okay. It was a sudden stop, a fade, or a final like iteration of the chorus. Iteration, if you prefer. But yeah, cool tune, and one that ultimately, it sounds somewhat like what I've heard, but ultimately had a perhaps a bit more of a curious quality to it. I don't know quite how to describe it, but it definitely, I enjoyed the idiosyncrasy of it, like the way it started. It had that percussion run and then immediately dropped in, and then it had these little melodic touches like between some of the like the lines of the chorus, so it didn't feel like a full melody so much, you know, like flowing over the hills, as it did just little accompaniment in certain parts. And then again, that the main melody, that synth run, which, you know, part of the time it sounded like strings to me, part of the time it sounded like a sort of keyboard organ. There was also what was it, there was another, that like little fluttering melodic layer, which sort of really stood out in the second half of the tune in particular. So yeah, like a lot of interesting pieces, and one that I feel like has a bit more of a complex character that will take a few listens for the, you know, the full taste of the experience to spread across the palate. I don't even drink wine, so I don't know why I'm trying to like make that type of metaphor, but definitely like I could feel similarities to, you know, Vienna and Rage in Eden, but this also felt like it was doing some other things in terms of the blending of sounds. So yeah, basically a cool opener. Looking forward to the rest of the album, and once again, R.I.P. to Chris Chross. And yeah, it's interesting when going through these different deep dives, and in some cases, you know, people died not terribly long before the deep dive started. Marie Fredriksson would be a good example. You know, she passed away before I started doing reaction videos, but it's not like, you know, 15, 20 years ago or something like that. And then in a couple cases, there have been people who passed away while or after I started going through. So again, I will fully appreciate, or more fully appreciate, his bass playing and contributions to their sound over time. But once again, R.I.P. and shout out to both Han Solo and Izzy for making sure I was aware of that, which I hadn't been. And indeed, I believe he died last week, so I think there was maybe like a bit of information, you know, maybe the family just didn't release that he had died for a few days or something like that. But yeah, ultimately, R.I.P. And I did want to mention not just Chris Chross, but Midge, I think, sounded fantastic on this one. There were a couple moments where I enjoyed the way he floated, and there was that one line, I forget what the words were, but he went like really down low in the sort of gradual extension. So yeah, I enjoyed the vocal technique and delivery in this one. So yeah, a cool opener. Looking forward to the rest of the album. Big shout out to Philip once again for sharing their larger catalog, as well as Han Solo, who put me onto them to begin with. And yeah, ultimately I will continue to go forward, though I am aware, having heard a few of the live and I think like one studio track from the John Fox version, we will go through that eventually. I will still keep going through John Fox. I did mention like a month ago, I ordered a much more recent, like, I think it's like an ambient, like down-tempo CD from John Fox, so more on that in the not too distant future. But yeah, once again, R.I.P. To Chris, and let me know what you think of the tune. I will see you next time. Peace.